Hello and welcome to this week's video from Boat Companion. This week we'll be talking about the buying process. Now, the purchase of a powerboat or a sailing yacht is likely to be the largest purchase that the average person would make after the purchase of their house or possibly their motor car. It is therefore extremely important that a purchaser protects themselves from any future problems that could be encountered through the purchase of that particular boat. Some of the problems that can occur when buying boats is that the boat may not actually be owned by the person who's selling it. The boat may have debts on it. The debts may be from unpaid marina bills, it may be from unpaid boatyard fees, or it may be that a mortgage lender has lent money to the original owner of that boat and that money is still outstanding and that the mortgage company therefore has a right to the ownership of that boat. These things need to be studied in detail through the paperwork that comes with the boat to ensure that everything is in order. It's important to note that there is actually no legal requirement in the UK for an owner to register their boat on the ship's register. There is also no formal requirement for a sale and purchase agreement or a contract to be put in place when boats change hands. It actually is the case that sometimes a boat has no paperwork with it whatsoever, and that you only have the word of the person who is selling that particular boat that they own that boat outright. It can be very dangerous to enter into a purchase of a boat like this unless it's of a very cheap price. There are two main routes for the purchase of boats. One is through a broker and one is as a private sale. Buying through a broker does provide you with a certain amount of protection and confidence in that the broker would have done some background to the purchase of that boat prior to putting it onto their books. It's important to use a reputable broker, however, as there is little legislation for setting up a brokerage. Anybody can open an office and set a broker up. There are some very good brokers out there, Boat Shop 24, Boat Shed, Ancaster, Boats and Outboards, Boat Trader, more for private sales. So there are many different brokerages that you can go to. It's important to pick a very good one. It's important to pick one that has a proven track record. The other method is to go with a private sale. Now, with a private sale, there are a lot more risks. A lot more research needs to be done. The buyer needs to do all of the research in terms of past paperwork and proof of ownership of the yacht. The most important thing to do when purchasing either through a broker or as a private sale is to go through the paperwork that comes with the boat. If a boat has no paperwork with it, if the seller is saying that all the paperwork has been lost, be very suspicious. Without any paperwork, it's extremely difficult to follow the life of that boat and to see where any potential liabilities might lie. So, ask for all of the paperwork, ask for all of the service history whenever the boat's been taken into a yard. You can also phone around past yards and check what kind of work has been done to it, and phone around local yacht clubs to find out whether anybody knows about the history of that particular boat. This is especially important when looking at a private sale. The other thing to do is to ensure that there are no outstanding debts on that particular boat. Now, there are a few key mortgage lenders for boats in the UK, and it's a very good idea to phone around all those mortgage lenders to ensure that none of them have a right to that boat. It is worth looking at the Merchant Shipping Register to see if a boat is registered. If a boat is registered on the Merchant Shipping Register under Part 1, you can be assured that it is owned by the person who has registered that boat, as it is a legal requirement to prove ownership prior to registration. However, most sailing yachts are registered under Part 3, the Small Ships Register of the Merchant Shipping Register. It's important to note that there is no requirement to prove ownership prior to registering a boat on the Small Ships Register under Part 3. It does, however, provide an addition to the overall picture of the history of that boat, so it's worth checking. Don't ever feel afraid to question the person that you are purchasing the boat off. After all, it's your money that you are paying out, and the person you are buying the boat off would have gone through the same process when he bought the boat in the first place. If it's a broker, then it's their job to demonstrate to you that that boat is actually owned by the person who is selling it. So always ensure that you dig as deeply as you can, and if there is any doubt about the boat whatsoever, there are plenty of other boats out there. Walk away from the deal. Once you've satisfied yourself that the person selling the boat has the right to sell the boat and that there is no outstanding debts on the boat, it's now time to talk price. Now, the normal way that things work is that 10% of the boat price is offered as a deposit once the price has been agreed, but this is done with the aid of a contract. Now, it's very important that the contract is correct and is prepared correctly, and the RYA do a standard form contract for this purpose. Boat Companion is available to ensure that the contract is prepared in the right manner, that it's administered in the right manner, and that everybody is aware of what they are signing up to. Now, the 10% value is refundable should the survey show that there is a serious problem with the boat. If, however, you decide not to purchase the boat at a later date, then the 10% value is non-refundable. Now it's time to find a surveyor to carry out a survey on the boat. The survey would normally take place within a week to 2 weeks after the offer has been made on the boat. It's important to check with the surveyor once the survey has been booked to ensure that the surveyor can actually carry out the work within this time. The process normally works with the surveyor lifting the boat out of the water at your cost and conducting the survey. The report will then be prepared over the following week. However, if you can attend the surveyor will often be able to tell you on the spot whether there are any problems or whether there are any potential major issues associated with that boat. If there are major issues associated with that boat, it's a good idea to walk away, and quite often you can reclaim the 10% deposit you have placed down. However, if there are small defects with that boat, which there often are, in fact there normally is, this can often be used to negotiate a price reduced from the price that was offered originally to cover the cost of repair of that boat. So often the survey will pay for itself with a price negotiation post-survey to cover the cost of repairs. Now that you have the results of the survey and you've satisfied yourself that you've negotiated a good price to cover any problems that need to be addressed with the boat, it's now time to pay the remaining deposit for the boat. Now, at this point, both parties sign the contract to say that the boat ownership has been passed over to you and the monies are transferred to the seller's account. The boat is now yours to do with what you please and for you to enjoy. I hope you've